Today's coverage of the second day of the I-75 Ohio Crop Tour is brought to you by AgroLiquid, for the soil, for the plant, for the future.
Paul Ralston from Hardin County, farmer. Throughout the trip, I really thought we'd see a lot of variability in a lot of these fields. And I've been pleasantly surprised that we have not seen the variability. We've seen some variability today, but not as much as we had yesterday. A lot of consistency, but there was also a lot of the same symptoms that we found yesterday with the dry weather hurting crop last few weeks. We was blessed today. We got most of the area that we was covering, got close to an inch of rain. So I think that inch of rain will greatly help the crop that's there. But still pretty good crop for what it's had to go through and this year, and been pretty impressed.
Bob Black, Pickaway County, farmer. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the bugs. We picked up more bugs today than we did yesterday. We found our first couple sets of earworm in the ear, and we also saw something that really surprised us. We saw some fall armyworm that entered the ear through the silk and was chewing away at it. And it was something I hadn't seen in a long time. The other thing that we thought we might see is more aphids as we move south, and there wasn't any aphids at all. That surprised us.
Bill Mullen, sales agronomist with Murray Stein Grain. Very surprising today where we came out of Mercer County and started seeing a lot of anthracnose leaf blight down there at the bottom. And it was very evident 3-4 leaves above the ground. The other thing too is saw a lot of smut. And we started seeing like 5 to 8% of the one location. Very surprisingly is how the smut seemed to also progress as we go farther south. And going back to anthracnose leaf blight, also that disease went from north to south as well, and a lot of that's to do with the saturated conditions early on and that. So, you know, with that disease, the gray was there, some common rust, but the two big ones are the anthracnose leaf blight that had a big impression on me, and the smut, which also going to have an effect on the yield as well.
Brent Pence, Clark County crop and livestock producer. Kind of going to add to what I spoke about yesterday. The poor, crop farmers and everybody up north. The Putnam counties, those types of places where we were yesterday. We kept seeing the cracks in the ground. Talking about how the lack of rainfall, they'd had 40 inches up until their wheat harvest. And now they're just really struggling getting dry, and we hope that they got some of this rain that we've been in today in the southern areas. Hopefully those guys got some water to help them out, because it would definitely benefit them. As we've traveled south, we can't believe how much the moisture's changed in the soil. Yes, we had a lot of rain early too, but it came at the right times and it didn't have to replant as much. And now, today we had 1/2 inch to 9/10, as they said, pretty much everywhere we've been. And it's amazing because you just don't see the struggles in the ground with the cracks, and the crop's not suffering near as bad. So hopefully those guys got a bunch of water up there today too. We met a lot of neat people on this trip. I know for myself, I learned a lot, met some new people, made new friends, and I feel very honored that I got asked to go. And thanks Matt and Ty, Bart, everybody that's involved, and it's a class operation, and we thank you a lot for having us.
And now we have Jenny in the field talking with Farmer Dave.
Dave, this corn has some noticeable differences. Tell us what's going on here.
Well, I know AgroLiquid had helped me out a lot last year, but I've been using my old fertilizer program for a long time. So I decided to do a comparison, AgroLiquid versus a conventional program. So far, the differences are pretty obvious.
Looks clear to me.
Absolutely. AgroLiquid is going to take the championship here.